Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Amon Rakar. Coming at you with another lesson, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, and peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. And I'm going to jump straight into it, man. You know, this lesson, I think I might give it the title, Who is Esua-Edom? Right? Who is Esua-Edom, man? Because these are the thing with Esua-Edom, man. Esua-Edom, first and foremost, I'm going to tell you who Esua-Edom is. Esau-Edom, Esau is the progenitor of the so-called white race, and Edom is the tribe, it's the nation, right? You know, Edom means red. You know, did not Esau come out red and hairy, red all over like a hairy garment? See the thing with Esau-Edom is they've done so much in the world that it's easy to prove who they are through the scriptures. Now they'll tell you, well, you know, let me read this first. Let's establish this. So this is Malachi 1:1. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. It says, I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Now we know that we are Jacob, right? When it's talking about Jacob like that, as well, it's talking about, not in this particular instance here, but when the Lord's mentioning Jacob, it's talking about the nation of Israel, man. Right, they remember, going back to Genesis 25, two nations, it says two nations are in thy womb, man. Because, you know, the Lord's telling, you know, the Lord informed through the prophets to Rebecca that two nations were in her womb, man. One being the nation of Israel, the other being the nation of Edom. Right? It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel. So these are the border of wickedness, man. So there in itself is an indication of who Esau-Edom is. Now I've just got a couple of things up here, a couple of tabs. I want to just quickly show the headings of, really, and I might read into them. But this is the rap. This is part of the rap sheet, the extremely long rap sheet that Esau-Edom has. You know, we can start with where should we start? We can start with, you know, we know about the transatlantic slave trade. We can talk about colonialism, and it says white colonialism refers to the historical and modern overseas expansion by European powers and the subsequent nations they established, where political control, economic extraction, and racial hierarchies were imposed on indigenous and non-European populations, deeply entwined with the global development of racial categories. Then you have, and these are in no particular order, by the way, the treaties broken, you know, in America by the settlers, right, against the Gadites, man. You know, when they ended up on those shores, man, the Gadites, our people, showed them how to maneuver, right? Showed them how to hunt and how to deal with the nature and the land and all that stuff, man. And all the while, these devils were plotting to see them off, man. So they could take over that land. And now they're walking around talking about how they're Americans and that it belongs to them, and that you're not American if you're not a so-called white person, man. An Edomite. Even though they settled on that place. See, these devils, man. The scripture says the thief cometh from not, but let me get it. Let me get it. In fact, let me just get it. I've read this one. Let me get it. John 10:10, it says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. Right, this is Yahweh Shai. I'm just going to read that part for now, because that is their MO, man. Right? Where was I? Yeah, so let's read this real quick. So it says, between 1778 and 1871, the US government signed roughly 368 treaties with Native Americans, Gadites, or Native American nations, treating them as sovereign citizens. Almost every one of these official agreements, it wasn't just handshakes and just spoken word, it was official, was eventually ignored or broken by the United States as white settlers pushed west for land and resources. That's what they were about. That's what they were about, man. Where was I? It says you can explore the historical documents and background through the National Archives or read the exhibits at the National Museum of the American Indian. Examples of broken treaties. Trail of Tears. It says signed by a small unauthorized minority of the Cherokee Nation. This illegitimate pact was used to justify the forced removal of thousands of Cherokee along the deadly Trail of Tears. Fort Laramie Treaty, 1868, promised the Dakota and Dakota Sioux exclusive permanent ownership of the sacred Black Hills. When gold was found there a few years later, miners flooded the area and the US military forced tribes off the land. So these are just a few examples there. You have medical racism, man, because they used to do experiments on our, especially our women, and they would say that we are more capable of taking pain because we're not like normal human beings, man. So let's read some of this. So it says medical racism is a systemic, widespread mistreatment and unequal treatment of people of color within the healthcare system. And it's not really people of color, it's just Jakes, alright? They don't do this to Elamites and Ishmaelites and Moabites and all of that. They don't do that to them, they do it to us Israelites, man. It says it includes false biological beliefs held by providers, unfair access to quality care, and institutional policies that result in worse health outcomes for ethnic minority groups. Key forms and examples: pain management bias. Clinicians sometimes treat pain in black patients due to false, disproven beliefs that they have thicker skin or higher pain thresholds. Race correction algorithms. Many diagnostic tools such as kidney functions, I've got to stop using this cursor, such as kidney functions and lung spirometry tests used outdated race adjustments that delayed treatments or organ transplants for non-white patients until recent overhauls. Maternal health disparities. Black women face significantly higher rates of pregnancy and childbirth mortality due to systemic neglect and provider dismissiveness. And there was a video came out where a woman was having labour in a chair, man. She's going into labour in a chair, and the woman and this so-called white nurse was just nonchalantly, just dismissing her pain and everything, man. So, yeah, these things are real. We could read on and on about this. And this is something I've yet to get into. I'm not going to touch too much on this because I don't know enough to talk about right now. But The Delectable Negro is a book by Vincent Woodard, and it takes into account accounts of occasions where Edomites were eating us in slavery, man. So these people are cannibals. So there's nothing good. As you can see, all they've done is rule pain and suffering in the earth, man. And let me go to this actually, because I was touching on it. They, especially when this is colonialism right here, right? So if this is not Esau-Edom, right? If the so-called white man is not, and we can, Job 9:24, I'm going to have to get it at some point, but, we already know what that says, right? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not who and where is he? So if this man isn't the wicked, right, the one that's covered the faces, yeah, i.e. pretending or painted over who the true Israelites are, actually done that, and metaphorically speaking as well, alright. Now you got people running around saying that they're Jews, But this one right here is a very good way of proving who Esau-Edom is, man. It says, Psalms 49:11, it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So this people we're talking about, man, they think the pride in them gives them the idea that they're going to live forever, man. There's a nation, and everywhere they take over, man, they'll rename it. They just claim everything they can claim. They are greedy. And I have to go to Habakkuk just to line it up with this as well. Where am I going? I'm going to start at 4, so Habakkuk 2:4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Meaning his spirit is off, man. He ain't like everybody else. And that shows, and even in the smallest infinitesimal ways, the lack of hygiene, don't know how to cook and clean properly, don't know how to season food, has no rhythm, has no, is very lacking in melanin. Pushing out all these weird doctrines and stuff like that. He's into weirdness, man. I saw a video of these Edomites all sitting around in a room, like a gym or something, watching another Edomite pretend to be a dog, man. Doing tricks and shit, and they're all clapping and enjoying themselves like it's just some amazing thing. Speaking of dogs, man, they sleep with animals, man. How many times have you seen a video of them tongue kissing their dogs and that, man? Verse 5 says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Now, isn't that colonialism? Who did the colonialism again? It was the Europeans, man. The so-called white man. So, further proof that Esau-Edom is the so-called white man. Now, when you tell them about the future prophecy of Edom, right? Their demise. No, they're not Edomites. But when you want to talk about who thinks they're the greatest and who overtook the world because they had all the weapons and technology and they had the intelligence to do so, and they brought civilization everywhere, it's them. So they're confused. What are you? Are you the people, or are you not? You know, you want to be Esau-Edom, or you want to be that guy when it suits you. But when we talk about how the Lord's going to destroy you, man, and all of a sudden you ain't the Edomites. It's someone else. It's the Arabs, or whatever they like to say, or they've been done away with. Might as well go here real quick, man. Let's break it down. Job 9:24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So who is the governing body on this earth, man, as a demographic of people? You know, they can go into every country they want to go into and just do what they want to do. No, you can't do that to England, you can't do that to America, you can't do that to Australia and all them other European countries. Really, you can't really do that. But they spread themselves around, man. You know, that's what it says. He's a proud man, neither keepeth a home. And he doesn't really have a home, man. You know, if you really go back to Cain and Abel, man, he's a vagabond. You know, goes around from place to place, robbing and stealing, diminishing all the resources, and then he moves on. We talked about the treaties. Let's get this. See, it's so easy to show you who Esau-Edom is, man, or to not who he is, but to prove that he is the so-called white man. Let's just start at 20. Psalms 55 and 20 says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. You see? So did he not, was the guy that's not at peace with them? They welcome them, man. What sort of spirit do you have to have on you when you're welcomed into someone's home, basically, and you turn around and slaughter them, and you lie to them, and you do all the wickedness you can do to them, just in order to take what doesn't belong to you, man. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Yeah, they shake your hand, and with the other hand they got a dagger behind their back, man. And I'm gonna have to link this up now. Oops, I'm going too far. The wrong one. Let's go there. Oh, shit, I'm going to have to do it the long way now. Let's go to Psalms 58. And the world is waking up, man. Jacob's waking up. But the world is starting to see that these devils, man. Remember, there was a video of an old Ammonite man talking about them, man. Just telling them how it is. Talking to an Edomite boy, and he's trying to say, "Oh no, we're not, it wasn't all bad." And he says, "No, man." He says, "You, the white man is evil, man. You ain't no getting around that." it says, this is Psalms 58:3, says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Right? Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming ever so wisely. Break their teeth, O Yahweh, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Yeah, man. It says, what does it say again? The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. They're born wicked, man. You know, it's not hard it ain't hard to tell, man. As Nas once said, it ain't hard to tell. All you got to do is match up the crimes to the people, connect the dots, man. Who did what? We didn't do none of those things. Now, some of the other nations have been part and parcel. We know in Psalms 83 it talks about them having a confederacy against Jacob, man, against Israel. Alright? So these other nations have helped to, you know, bring about our downfall. But really, you know, who's in control? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. I said it once more. And where am I? I should have stayed in Habakkuk, you know. But anyway, let's go back into Habakkuk real quick, because I want to get something else. I should have stayed in there a little bit longer. There was some more in there. But hey. Just want to get to the point. So this is Habakkuk 2:8, and it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. That's what the whole Babylon, the land of Babylon, is built. That's how it's all built, man, on blood and sin. You know what they did to the Gadites, what they did to Ephraim, what they did to Yehoiada, Benjamin or Benjamin, So they've done, all the tribes, man. They spilled a lot of blood in Babylon alone, not across, let alone the whole globe. That's why that place is going to be destroyed, man. I'm going to have to get something else now, man. So many precepts on this demon. The Lord made sure, it's like your unit. The Lord made sure that He would find a way to point him out, man. So we knew who we were dealing with, man. Hebrews 12:16, it says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. So It says he's the worst, man. There's no one more. There's no more of a fornicator or profane person as the Edomites, man. Right, and he's has no blessing. There is no future blessing for him. All that's coming his way is pain and suffering and fear. Let's get something in Jeremiah. It says, because this is a prophecy against Edom. Jeremiah 49:7. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Turn ye, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of the Dan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him in the time that I will visit him. If great gatherers, and this is a good point here, if great gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. Yeah, that's them, man. They don't know when to stop. They will go into this earth is barren, nothing, and then they try and figure it. That's what I was talking about, traveling to, and I've mentioned this recently, talking about going to other planets, man, so they can settle down there, and then they'll end up doing the same thing there, because that's their nature. The Lord is not going to allow that anyway, man. They're stuck here. Like, we're going to be able to move around like that. Yeah, how much I said it, man. It's in my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you. So we're going to be, and the Lord's house is the whole universe, man. And all these other planets out there, that's for us. He's not allowed him to step outside of it, his boundaries, man. Yeah, it says, if thieves by night, they will destroy it till they have enough. They just don't know. That's why the food you eat now is useless, because there's no minerals in the earth, because they just keep tilling the same land over and over and over again, and they make that worse by putting pesticides on the food and all that sort of stuff. So now there's chemicals in your food, chemicals in the land. Right, verse 10 says, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. It says, verse 12 says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. Yeah, they've been holding the cup, but now the cup's going to be taken from them soon, and they're going to be made to drink of it, man. It says, and art thou he that shall go altogether go unpunished? And they think that. That's exactly what they think. Because until they've been brought low as everybody else, especially us, they're never going to be able to imagine that happening. Alright? But they will not go unpunished, man. It says, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. It's just going to get worse and worse, man. I'll read this one quick as well. It says, Jeremiah 49 and 17. It says, also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. Yeah, they need to be brought down. Humbling is what is going to occur. Ezekiel 25 says the same thing. this one I'm about to read is a perfect one to actually join up with Job 9 and 24, man. Daniel 4 and 17 says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the watchers are us, man. Alright? And the demand by the sword, I'm messing up my words tonight, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. That we already spoke about them being the basest of men. They're the lowest of the low, man. What keeps them alive is the fact, what keeps them in charge is the fact that the Most High gave them that. And then they compound that with their white supremacy tropes. Letting everybody know that they're the greatest and they've done all these things, when they steal everything. They don't make anything, they steal. And then they steal things and then claim that they did it. How pathetic is that, really? Think about that, man. They're literally leeches. There's not a thing that they've done the right way. So you could say they're deluded. They're deluded, man. Bad times are coming for them, because you can't go on like this, man. They have to be put a stop. The Lord has to put a stop to them, man. You see that nations will be judged, all nations, including the nation of Israel, man. I will have to read this, man, because this is crazy what the Lord's going to do. This is Joel 3 and 1, and it says, for behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, meaning that the Lord is going to bring us out of it, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead, not beg, judge with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. That's talking about the slavery, man. Chattel slavery. Right, let's really slacken off. Let's just get what the definition of that is, man. Because they always like to conflate that with other types of slavery, man. Chattel slavery is a system where one human being is legally owned as personal property, chattel, by another. Under the system, enslaved people can be bought, sold, traded, and inherited, meaning that you'll never see. The old way was you would be under servitude for either you owed something, or maybe you committed a crime or something, and it was for a certain amount of time, so usually 7 years, right? And then you go about your way. But in their system, we were inherited, man. That's crazy. That's like the first set of enslaved Israelites that they had. Once they started breeding them, it's like you're taking the whole family tree, generation after generation, man. Now that's wicked as hell. It says enslaved people can be bought, sold, traded, and inherited, and their children are automatically born into the same legal status of enslavement. So these people, man, they're not normal, and they're all constantly trying to cover up how unnatural and how not normal they really are. Right, it says verse 4 back in Joel 3, It says, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. This is what's going to happen to them, man. It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, which is everywhere, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken. You did that to us, man. Imagine that you took our children, man, our sons and daughters, and sent them away, and we never saw them again, man. That's what's going to happen to you. That's what they thought of us, man. Almost as if they thought that we wouldn't care about our children, or maybe they did think that we cared, and that made it even more pleasurable for them. Listen, man, you devils, man, it's time you started to understand who you are, because, you know, judgment's coming for you, and it's going to be the worst judgment that could happen to anybody, man. The Lord is about to have you in derision, in slavery, for a very long time, and we're going to be able to exact vengeance on you, man. And then after all of that, you're going to be destroyed, man. And the book of Obadiah says that. You know, I'm not going to get in now. But, you know, your time is nearly up, man. Praise the music, man. You so-called white people are Esau-Edom. All the things that we've read up here, and there's many more that I haven't read. There's so many things that you've done on this earth. You dropped bombs on Japan, man. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You did that. You know, you colonized India. You had the Moabites you had enslaved on the railroads and that. You went over to Australia, and you marked quite a lot of those Aboriginals out there. You know, you had the Levites in some serious conditions, man. You've done everything wicked. It's you. We're talking about, the scriptures are pointing all the wicked things that you've done, man. Right? So it's unavoidable. You Edomites, you so-called white people, are Esau-Edom, man. You know? So, I ain't going to go on too much longer, man, but, you know, all this Esau's done away with, and nah. You know, what makes me sick is the way that how they try and claim the good things that Esau-Edom has done. But when it comes to the bad things, and all of a sudden it ain't them. You know? But anyway, man, I'm going to close out here, man. You know, Lord is edifying, man. Basically, it's a little, you know, just to show you, man, how easy it is. I'm going to do another one, you know, to show you how easy it is to identify who the Israelites are, man. Alright, but with this one, this is over. This is the brother Amor Car closing out. All praises, honor, glory to Yahweh Shem Shai, and shalom to the next one, man.